Start Over, a podcast about starting over in love, in business, in life, in general.
Hello and welcome to Start Over. Very excited for this second episode. I know it has been a while in the making, and I do promise that 2019 I'm gonna be way more consistent and we're gonna have more regular episodes. However, to make up for that, I have the best guest today with us, Miss Lu Li. Big round of applause. Founder of Blooming Founders.
Thanks so much, Amalia.
So, Lou, I'll have you introduce yourself. Give us a little bit of the life journey that you've had so far. Plenty of changes, plenty of start overs. So let's hear it.
Yeah, so I was born in China, and the big first change of my life was when I was 6 years old. That's when my family immigrated to Germany. So I was thrown into a completely new culture, new language, and everything. I grew up in Germany, did business school there, started my career, moved around a lot. Spent 1 year in Hong Kong on study abroad. Moved for my internships, like every 3 months. I was in a different city, and then I started my career in Munich with McKinsey. I didn't really like sort of management consulting, so I moved again after 6 months. I moved to Switzerland to work for Procter & Gamble in Geneva, and then moved with the company, 2 years later back to Germany, and then I left my job for good, corporate life, and started, sort of paving my own path, and sort of retrained as an image consultant, started a first little business, didn't really work out, left Zurich, came to London about 5 years ago, and started a different business in retail consulting, and then now I founded Blooming Founders about 3.5 years ago, and this one seems like it's sticking, so so hopefully I don't have to just start over that soon again.
So, plenty of changes. I want to hear about changing countries, which has changed a lot, and also a difference in cultures, having to build like a network from the get-go. What would be your advice for somebody who is thinking to start over in a new place, a new city, new country? What would be your tips?
So I guess my biggest tip would be to be mindful and have a purpose of why you want to be in a specific country or in a specific city. I have traveled. I still love traveling, but now I don't really travel for the sake of it. I used to love travel even for the sake of it when I was in my 20s. It was just about exploration, right? But I think at that time, I think starting over or sort of immerse myself in a new culture, I found more exciting.
Yeah.
Thinking I might discover something that I didn't know, something magical, and it's kind of like this can be like blow my mind, right? So the truth is, it didn't really happen that often. Most of the time, you just travel around. It's like, oh, there's another beach, there's another church. Okay, it's kind of like the same shit, right?
It's like eat, pray, love, but it's only just eating, really.
exactly, just eating. But hey, the food is good. You gain a bit of weight, all good. But I think for for your life sort of purpose and sort of what you want to do and all that, it didn't help me as much as I thought it would. So then I started becoming more intentional about why I want to be in a certain place, and I started picking like the locations that I want to go, but then I would be fully committed to that purpose that I have identified until I realized for whatever reason that purpose doesn't serve me or doesn't work out, and then I would start over again. But
I was reading yesterday that 41% of millennials have moved to a different place without the intention of permanently moving there or staying there for good. So it made me think a little bit because, like in London, there's been an epidemic about people going to Bali, just leaving, coming back, going there. And, especially in the startup world, just people just move around a lot or change companies a lot. Do you think there is a chance that we may be a little bit addicted to change? Or how can you tell if a change is a right move or you just need to find happiness where you are?
Yeah. I think it depends on how much you thought about that change, basically, right? If you're sort of moving on erratically because there's one little thing you don't like in your job, and you're on to the next one, then that's not very good, right? Because you need to sort of try to improve and learn from that situation, right? And that's how you grow. But then if you are sort of like trying to learn and you just find out it just simply doesn't work, and then obviously you move on for good reasons, right? I mean, a lot of reasons why startups leave London is because it's very expensive to be in the city.
And Brexit.
And Brexit, right? Whatever that might mean. It's just kind of like, well, maybe it's not the right place to be anymore, right? And so for very rational reasons, people might leave London, and just to start a company somewhere else. And then, maybe also like have a bit of emotional distance to the city. I think, I think one thing that did help me when I was starting over from the corporate life is that actually I moved to a different city. So I didn't have that familiarity sort of, of like, I don't know, like the stuff that you usually do, but now you don't really want to do them anymore because that's kind of like your old life. London, exactly. The ambulance is coming.
It's London.
It's East London. Yeah, and I think that these are good reasons for change, right?
Yeah.
I think the not so great reason for change is like if you think that you're missing out, you have fear of missing out. Other people are posting stuff on Instagram, and you kind of feel like you're left behind. But really, like it's more about you trying to compensate for something, instead of building something for yourself, right? If you're trying to like just find something, if you're unhappy, right, and you're trying to find your, I don't know how do you say, like, but like you try to find the holy grail in Bali because everybody apparently is finding it, and you go there, you might be hugely disappointed because it might not be for you at all, basically, right? And you might go crazy and whatever, or just nothing really happens, basically, right? So I guess it's about intention.
Sure. Intention, and I guess also by building a network of people that are like in similar experiences that you are like in the same place helps you a little bit see things more objectively, or at least have like that emotional support.
Yeah,
because it has a lot of ups and downs going through changes.
Yes, I mean that's right. I mean, whenever you change something, I would definitely recommend you to find your tribe, as they say. So if you're in Bali, definitely find your tribe on Bali. And then if you find out you don't get along with that tribe, then okay, you probably shouldn't be on Bali, right? If you find out you do, then great. You might, you have
a tribe and you're in Bali.
You have a tribe, you're in Bali, and you found your calling. That's what I was looking for, like the calling that so many people are looking for. And it's not hard to find the calling, right? I mean, it took me about like definitely over 3 years, right? But
is there such a thing like as a calling? I mean, some people have a calling, but a calling can be a little bit more broader. I mean, I think people when think of I need to find like my thing, they think of something very specific.
Yeah.
But like you knew that you want to be an entrepreneur, and then you kind of iterated as you went along. It wasn't like that I need to be that very specific type. And down the line, who knows, maybe you'll start another business after you exit successfully, looking founders or whatnot. You never know. So I think, sometimes people think of a calling very specifically and they get stressed if they can't find like the exact thing. Like, what was your kind of journey going through different type of businesses?
Callings can change, and I don't actually plan to be blooming founders forever, right? And there's the other things I want to do in life as well. But I think my calling is or the realization that I had is that I really don't want to work for someone else. Full stop, basically. So anything I can do for my own that allows me not to work for someone else is great, basically. So any outcome that I can achieve for myself that is, livable, I'm happy with. Obviously, I'm also very ambitious, so I do want to have financial success because, it's the fuck you money, so-called fuck you money that people talk about in startup land is, when you are financially free, then you can pretty much do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
But what that actually is, so about being specific, I mean, that I agree as well. You don't have to be too specific about, the vision that you have. You just have to put yourself out there and learn and see how things go.
Did you do a vision board? What is it? Mood board? What do they call it?
No,
Vision board?
no, I never.
Did you do any of these
No,
exercises?
I never done vision boards because I'm
I'm just a Scorpio
I'm
living
just
my life.
just a Scorpio living my life, like I just do what makes sense for me, basically, right? I mean, I do sort of, I guess, visualize, but I don't go through the sort of the effort to cut pictures out from magazines
Yes.
and put them there and all that, basically, right? I mean, I have to say I have a little bit of a photographic memory, so I retain quite a lot of information, so I think that helps as well. I just rather get stuff done and learn from the results of doing than sitting back and take a whole day for vision boarding.
So how do you keep yourself motivated for all these change? Because especially when you're a solo founder, you try out one thing, it kind of works, doesn't work. You're like, okay, where is this going?
Yeah, I think to keep yourself motivated, that's it. You really have to know what you don't want, basically, right? It's almost like as you might not know where you want to get to, but you know where you want to move away from. So for me, it's about moving away from a job and working for someone else and having to wait for other people's approvals to get anything done. That's kind of my main motivation. I just don't want to do that. And if I can earn a living, for myself, live, a life where I'm kind of happy with, and I can just get to do my own stuff, I'm happy, right? Obviously, I'm also quite ambitious, so then it's about, okay, to fulfill my ambitions, then I want to do this and this and this and that. And that will then sort of, keep me motivated once you see that, okay, there is actually something working. I can maybe maintain it on this level, I can pay my rent, I can pay my food and all that. But then, the ambition kicks in and be like, hold on, and you can blow this up and it can be really big and you can make an impact around the world and da. And then obviously sort of more complications come and you create more work for yourself. But
that's it. We keep our spirits up.
Exactly.
But we also need to keep our spirit relaxed a little bit. It can be a stressful journey. So do you have any little rituals that you follow to keep yourself grounded in the self, to relax?
Yeah, I mean,
and hanging out with me.
Exactly. Number one, having brunch with Amalia. Always good. I have to say, as much as I'm driven in my job and everything, I'm not very disciplined in my private life. Maybe that's where the Sagittarius aspect comes in. I'm very spontaneous.
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow. I mean, okay, it's a weekend, who's up for something? Okay, nobody's up for something. That's cool. I just do my thing, right? But somebody's up for something. Okay, I might join.
Yeah.
Right? Sleeping is very important. To me, got more and more important over time. So so I do make sure I get enough sleep, which are these days about 7 to 8 hours. I still stay up quite late because I work better at night. I'm not very much of a morning person, so kind of I shifted my sleeping cycle between midnight to 1 to 8:30, basically. That's
Ariana Huffington, if you're listening to this podcast, get in touch with Lu here.
Yes.
Maybe some amazing things can happen with Blooming Founders.
Yes. So definitely sleep.
Tell me a little bit also about Blooming Founders, because you have a lot of ladies here that do start over in life. So what are the things that you see that it's more challenging for them? What is the thing that really makes a difference? These days?
I think the reason why I started Blooming Founders is to help solve a problem that I had as well, right? As somebody who changed from a corporate career to entrepreneurship. It is a very different life. And don't believe anything else who tells you otherwise. It is a very different life. You think you can do something and then you realize, no, it just doesn't work. And then it might not be you, it might be just the market, a customer, competition, whatever is going on, right? So you feel quite lonely, right? And a lot of women like me started on their own. And you kind of go insane a little bit because you work from home, sort of in the beginning, and then you realize you only work from home and you haven't really changed out of your pajamas for a week. And you know, and then actually sometimes, you know, I hear from the women as well that, you know, you just start to feel a bit like less professional if you're doing everything on your kitchen table or, you know, on your couch or somewhere. And I think, you know, being part of, you know, getting yourself out there, meeting people, working like in an office environment is important, because it just, that actually is, you know, what I see keeps other people motivated, right? What other people, you know, then think that, you know, I'm being professional, I'm doing this, I'm building and I'm growing, right? And that's important, right? And I think you need that sort of the right environment, and everybody can define their own environment, right? I mean, I, you know, paid a membership to a business club when I sort of, you know, came to London, right? And I went there because I needed a, you know, a space to work from, to have meetings with, and also, you know, to meet other people, right? So I just kind of like, you know, did it myself, and I thought, okay, why do I have to pay £2,000 to be part of a members club type of thing?
Early beginnings startup scene in London was a little bit easy because you had Google Campus and everybody would hang out there, but we were like 20 people. Now it's almost too big, and it's hard to identify who of these people have like a similar background, similar challenges, or even similar intentions or aspirations.
Yeah. I think that's what kind of where our new community app is coming in, right? Because I mean, we've grown the community so much over the last 3 years, and you have, you know, women from have a business service, you have business services, service business, and then women who have you know, sort of budding tech startups and product businesses. And I think, you know, you have to find your tribe, right? But then now in London, like, entrepreneurship has become so popular that it's
too
just
much
like
of
everywhere.
Too much of a jungle. Too many tribes.
Too many tribes, and you have to find your tribe. Which is like, oh my god, like, where's this bloody tribe, you know? And obviously we're serving female entrepreneurs, but I mean, let's be honest, like, not every woman is the same, right? And some women would gel better with, you know, some women, and there's also like other, you know, female networks out there, right?
It's also it's an inclusive community, so we accept all the good people here.
Yes, men as well.
Yeah, vaginas and dicks, but not being a dick.
Yes, exactly.
So if you're that kind of person, make sure to go to bloomingfounders.com to see how you can become a member, how you can benefit from this platform. You can also follow on Instagram, Twitter, Blooming Founders. Make sure to follow and get more. We have a lot of events coming up, right?
Yes,
there's
events,
a
conferences, lots of things. So sign up to the newsletter, a very good newsletter. Every week we share what we're up to, and so you can be in touch.
And you can also get the book.
Yes, the book. That's another
on Amazon.
Yes, on Amazon. So it's called Dear Female Founder. If you're interested about, you know, hearing about the advice from successful female entrepreneurs who have been there, done that from all around the world, I got them to write a letter to their younger selves, or, you know, a budding female entrepreneur, and that's why it's called Dear Female Founder, because every chapter is a letter that starts with Dear Female Founder, and then she writes about, you know, what she would like to sort of pass on and advice and insights. So if you're interested, you can find that on Amazon and Kindle. And what else?
Then you can come by this wonderful space that we're at, and you can get it signed by Miss Lu herself.
Yes, and we have Nespresso coffees. That's always also a good reason to stop by.
Nespresso and George Clooney.
And join the community app. So that's
I'll
always,
make sure to film some footage for you guys. To
many ways to get involved.
Many ways to get involved. So now you have this space, which is on Curtain Road.
Yeah, in Shoreditch.
In Shoreditch. You also have a partnership with Cocoon.
Yes. Right?
And you have meeting rooms and space there as well.
Yes.
And where are we starting over next? What's international expansion?
Well, I think the next starting over is probably not starting over. It's just like starting another thing, another project, which is more around the fundraising process, because that's, you know, when you are starting up and you've built something.
If you love money and want money, stay tuned.
Exactly. Girls just want to have fun, I shall say. That's the next thing that we're looking to do something on because it's a big barrier for female entrepreneurs.
Awesome.
We need to fund more women.
Yes, we do. And on that note, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening, for tuning in. I hope we did better with sound this time around. Every episode is just going to get better and better. Thank you, Lou, for having us in this wonderful space. And I'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks
Take
so much.
care.
Bye.
All right.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. I like it.